Hello, I'm Victor Yalom, and I'm here today with Dr. Natalie Rogers. She's the daughter of Carl Rogers and a psychologist and psychotherapist in her own right. In a minute, we're going to have a chance to see an interview with Carl Rogers that was filmed in 1985 in Ireland. Natalie, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you just say a few words about where Carl was at this point in his life, which coincidentally, he was 83 at the time of this interview, and you are 83 right now.
Yes, and the first thing I need to say is I was just amazed at his presentation. He was so articulate and no hems or haws about it. He just knows exactly what he thinks and feels, and was, yeah, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
So at that time of his life, he was focused on groups, what were then called encounter groups, and he worked overseas. He was very interested in cross-cultural work, so one of the largest groups he did was in Brazil, and he went to Russia and worked there, and around the world doing peace work, essentially, trying to get his way of being, the person-centered approach, adopted by world peace negotiators.
Right. And he was even nominated for the Nobel Prize.
Yes, he was.
For
yeah.
peace.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's take a look
Okay.
at the interview, and then you and I can convene afterwards.
Okay, thanks.
Carl Rogers is one of America's most distinguished psychologists. His ideas, first published in the 1940s, continue to be influential in psychology and education. He has focused on people as individuals and how to enable them to best develop their abilities and emotions to the full, ideas pertinent for life in today's perplexing world. Now in his 80s, he continues to maintain a busy work schedule. I spoke to him recently between sessions at a workshop he was conducting in Dublin. I began by asking how he felt on hearing the word Rogerian.
By and large, I don't feel very happy when I hear the word Rogerian, because I feel that those who tend to use that term often are those who have a somewhat mechanical understanding of my work, or thinking of it as a technique, so that I really appreciate the general impact I've had. But the term Rogerian doesn't thrill me at all. I feel that I would much prefer to be known as someone who espoused a point of view that got known as client-centered, person-centered, or whatever, but not particularly after my name.
Your work now has been extremely influential since the early 1940s. You describe in that early work your upbringing, which you say was very conservative and very religious. How do you feel that contributed to the development of your thought?
Some of it contributed positively, some negatively. I think that as I think back on my childhood, I didn't expect my inner world to be understood at all. Whenever I revealed anything of what was going on deep within me, that tended to be judged, and usually negatively. At any rate, I didn't wish to expose it. So that, and I certainly didn't feel heard as a person. I think that some of what I've done professionally and in my work has been a reaction to my early upbringing. Where I was not heard, I really want to hear people. Where I didn't dare to expose what was going on in my own world of fantasy, because that's what it was. I would really like to hear from other people. I would like to make it safe for them to reveal their own inner worlds. So that in that respect, what I've done is sort of a reciprocal or an opposite of my upbringing.